It's very basic. You're going to go over your price structure, your price prezo, whether you guys are using laminates or you're selling off of paper. It's probably a pre-printed thing. You want to make sure it's professional. No matter what the close you're using, there's going to get to the point that you're going to say, and how does that sound? You're done until they say something. You got to be very quiet. At that point, they realize he just asked me to make a commitment to join right now. And of course, they feel a little bit of pressure, but that's part of what the process. We're not mean closers. We're not hard closers, but we're closers. So at that point, if you think they're ready, you put the price in front of them and say, how does that sound? You need to wait for them to say, I don't know, I don't think so, or yes, because if they say yes, you're going to drop right into the paperwork. If they sit there for 3 minutes in silence, that's unbearable pressure on them. If the longer they're quiet, the more pressure it is. Don't break that silence, because the second you go, and remember, kids clubs included, they go, whew, it gives them a chance to breathe a little bit. So they're thinking about it. The longer they wait, the more serious they are about doing it. If they don't say yes right away and they're still waiting while they're looking at it, then let them wait. They're just making the decision in their mind. If they don't want to join, they're going to tell you, and you can take the next step. The basic closes that we're going to use, they all can segue into other things you say or do. There's very easy, common sense things you say to people that make sense. The 50-year-old woman who's a lot overweight, who, never been in a gym, maybe married the same guy for 25 years, now divorced, maybe a little bitter, and she wants to change her life. She needs your help. If at that point, if you've done everything right and she's still saying, I don't think so, there's a reason for it. And sometimes you have to come right at them and ask them why. If you ask them a question, Marcia, doesn't that make sense? You're here. You like the facility. Your goals are realistic. Doesn't it make sense we get you started today? Why wait for a month, a year? If you get started today, you're going to feel different in a month. If you wait a month, you're not going to feel any different. We can get you started right now. Doesn't it make sense for you to get started right now? You're back to her going, yeah, I guess it makes sense, because now you're back to getting her to say yes. If you get down to everything else seems to have gone well, then you could give them a little bit of a scapegoat by saying, I shouldn't say scapegoat, but their excuses. Look, Marcia, it's one of two things. It's either the money, and we haven't really gone over all your options yet because I haven't gotten you to say yes yet, or it's your commitment. Are you serious about changing your life? Are you serious about doing this? Or are you concerned that, you can't get started? Because if it's your commitment, let me get you started. Let me help you with that. I'll call you 3 times a week to tell you to get down here if you want me to. If you offer to call somebody 3 times a week, call them 3 times a week. Don't offer it if you're not serious, because they won't take you up on it. Every once in a while, if you offer something, somebody will go, if you'll do that, I'll join. Make sure you follow up. Make sure you call her 3 times a week to say, when was the last time you were in the club? As they sit there and feel this pressure and they're trying to build that wall, believe what you're saying. If you say, I know how you feel, felt, found is one of the closes, and if you say, I understand how you feel, because a lot of people have sat in that seat that I've helped, felt the same way. What we found was, this is the toughest part. You've got to take that next step. You've got to join. You've got to get yourself down here to work out. But if you'll do that, you're going to change. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. We just got to take this next step. Give them some reassurance. Now, when you really feel like either you've called your manager in for a TO, which is a takeover, or a turnover, you're going to learn more about that later. If you've done this enough that you're comfortable taking the next step, or if you bring a manager in that's even a little harder closer, who builds a little bit, they don't have as much time to build rapport, so they come across as a harder closer. There's some basic things they can say that will reel that person back in. Example. Look, I understand. I could tell from your body language, and I could see that you're getting a little uncomfortable. What I've found is, Marcia, if I push you a little bit harder, and you join, and you lose those 20 pounds, and you change your life, I'm going to be your best friend. if I don't push you a little harder and you walk out of here and 6 months from now you're still not working out and you feel even worse and you're walking back through the door wishing you would have joined now, that doesn't do any one of us any good. So I'm going to leave it up to you. Do I keep pushing? Do I keep trying to get you to join right now and make this next step? Or do you want me to back off? Because if you want me to back off, say so. And it's a 50-50. Half of them say, I don't want to join. I need time to think about it. Then those are the people you need to back all the way off. Set them up with a pass, introduce them to your front desk, make them feel comfortable. Maybe even tell them, look, Marcia, the worst part of this whole program, the worst is the sales stuff. This is the hardest part, but that's what, that's what we do. You'll be happy you joined. You'll love the club. Our front desk is really nice. But for now, let's get you set up with a pass. Let's get you started. I'll set an appointment for the end of the month, and we'll go over all the sales stuff. By then, you'll know the price. You'll know that you want to do it, because if you use this club the next 2 weeks, you're already going to feel better. 2 weeks, this will be an easy decision, because you'll know, man, I can't believe how good I feel after 2 weeks. Just imagine 2 months, 2 years. You'll wish you would have started today. But let's go ahead and set you up for the end of the month to get you started on the pass. How does that sound? If she forces you to back off, then back off, and make sure everybody's nice to her on the way out the door. Don't at that point, just because the salesperson lost the sale, he thinks he lost the sale, he hasn't unless he screws it up now. Be nice to this person, they'll still join you at the end of the month. And if your salespeople are good salespeople, he'll remember her name. He'll talk to her when she comes to use facilities. If he doesn't see her at all the following week, he'll follow up a week later to say, Marcia, did you use the club this week? Maybe she comes in the morning and nobody saw her, but if she says, no, I didn't get in there, same thing, Marcia, come on. I know you have to do this. Through the whole process, through the profile, through the tour, during the sales presentation, one of the things you're going to find is sometimes with your body language and or the words you say, you're going to tie them down. Make sure they're still involved in the conversation. Don't make it all yes and no answers. Don't direct them too much that you can't pull the information from them. But example of a tie down is, if they know you have kids, and when you walk through the kids club, it was all orderly, you showed them the crafts. At the end of that, you're just going to say, isn't this a great kids club? You want them to go, yes, it is. And your body language, when you ask them, you're going to, hey, isn't this a great kids club? So be positive, smile, and that body language, they'll feel it, they'll get on board with you. So as the process goes along, you're going to ask questions still that the answer is yes. Isn't this a great kids club? A little bit of body language, get them comfortable with the process. A couple points to remember is behind every sale, there's a person back there. They have goals. You guys don't address this like this. This will be my 5th person of the day that joins, because you may have dealt with 5 people that day. This may be the one time this person walks into a gym to think about joining. You need to make them comfortable. You need to get them started. If you treat them like they're a number, if they're a membership number, your sales rate is going to be way down compared to if you genuinely get with that person. They're not in here buying 100 pieces of cardio. They're not in here, they're buying the one piece of cardio that helps them lose 20 pounds. They're only interested in that one piece. You need to find out what their goals are, deal with that person the right way, and start helping people get what they want. This may be your one opportunity to help this person change their lives. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. Spend the time with them, build the rapport, and this is your one chance. They came in the gym. If they have a bad experience today, they may never walk in again. Treat this person like a person. Give them a membership. Make sure they know they'll have the support, and this is your opportunity to change and save lives.
One thing I want to cover right now is most of you have had some training on what is expected of you to do this job. I want to get into some of the mathematics of the appointments, because so many of the big chains or independent clubs are based on how many appointments are set. There's mathematics to this. If your club requires 50 phone calls, you should shoot for 100. Now, that 100 phone calls, your sources, the quality of those appointments, you'll be calling from, the quality will be between 1 and 4. 1 being the worst, say that's a cold call out of a phone book, very tough appointment to set. Where number 4 is a buddy referral from a member who has just lost 20 pounds, is very excited about getting their friend started, that's a number 4. Obviously, the more number 4s in your 100 phone calls, the better. If you're making, out of 100 phone calls, you should get 10 appointments. If you're making your 100 phone calls and you're only getting one appointment, we've got a problem there. Right there is where you're going to do your training. You're going to do your training on the quality of your calls you're making and how to set a good appointment, because we want to get this ratio up to where you're setting more appointments. If you're making your 100 phone calls, you're getting your 10 appointments, and you're only getting one to show, that's not a good ratio. Out of 10 appointments, you should be getting between 4 and 6 to show. So then your training will go on what to say and do in setting that appointment in order to get your 6 shows. Okay, if you're getting your 6 shows and you're not closing any appointments, the obvious place to train is on how to set up either the TO or how to set up the takeover or the turnover, or how to close. A lot of your energy, you're making enough appointments, you've got good quality calls, you're setting enough appointments, you're getting enough shows, now they're not joining. So all your emphasis will go into this area. Once you get this number up, half should show, half should join. So once you get this to where now you've gotten 3 memberships out of it, this does a couple things. It builds to a great paycheck. It also sets you up to where you're getting buddy referrals from those 3 new members. If you're going all the way down the math of it, you get down to where you're not getting buddy referrals, that's where the training goes in. Once the training goes in and you're getting enough buddy referrals, we're back up to making our 100 phone calls. So you could see the cycle that goes on here is a learning process that your manager will get your phone calls up, will train you on what to say, and you'll get better and better. Once you get the appointments, you're on rotation, you get the shows, you'll close your 3 memberships, you'll get BRs off those memberships, and it's just a positive cycle. As time goes on, you won't need to make 100 phone calls because you're calling more from the 3 and 4 category rather than the 1 and 2 category. There's some work involved here. There's some hours involved here. There's a lot of phone calls involved here. But if you stay with it, you can count on this math working out. There's rarely been a case where a counselor liked their job, they stuck with it, they showed the enthusiasm, that they did the numbers, that they didn't end up arriving to this right here. Now I could go in, you could have your manager go in and do the math on if you sold 3 memberships a day every day on what your paycheck would be, but you've probably already figured that out. One of the areas that philosophy has changed in the industry, for sure for our health club chain, is we no longer incorporate the very hard close in order to get people to join. We're taking a little softer touch, but we're giving better customer service. A good closing percentage is 66%. If you can hit 66%, your club and your individuals are going to be all right. Obviously, that 66% is 2 out of 3 people. The difference between the way we used to do it and the way we do it now is when we were hard closers, we would close 66%, but the one that left would leave a little beat up, would tell several people don't go in there, they're too hard of a close. We shifted our philosophy. We shifted over to giving better service, keeping our clubs clean, being as nice from the beginning to the end. What happens with that is we can still get to a 66. The difference is on that initial sales presentation, you may only close one of them. What you're going to do is you're going to set the other 2 up on passes to the end of the month. You're going to treat them right, you're going to smile, you're going to give them service, you're going to get them some results. What's going to end up happening is one of those 2 people are going to join. You're back to your 66%. The difference is the one that didn't is no longer out there trash talking. He's out there telling the neighbor, oh, they were very nice, I should have joined, it's a great club. And he'll be more likely to join in the future, but you've got somebody who's helping you out there, who's happy, even though you didn't make the sale. So patience is required with this one because you're going to close one on the initial day, You're going to set the other up. You're going to give them an eval. You're going to make sure they're using the club. You're going to remember their name. You're going to set an appointment up for closeout. You're going to do follow-up. And you're still going to get one of those other 2 people to join. There's a little more time involved. This is a much better system down here, obviously, than this system. So don't be concerned about your initial presentation as long as you're doing everything right. If you've overcome the objections, if you've answered all their questions, and you're still going to set 2 people up on passes, make sure we do follow-up, because you'll get one of those people to come in and join.